Hey there, I have a Kongsheng Soloist that I just picked up, that I just opened up and have played for a couple minutes. I ordered it from AliExpress a couple weeks ago. There were some sales and things going. I got it for under 40 bucks shipped to my door. And I'm just going to run through some first impressions for you. First, just aesthetically and the ergonomics. It's a sandwich style harp. It looks a lot like a cross between a Manji and a Seidel Silver when they had the aluminum comb, so it does have an aluminum comb. A lot of attention to detail compared to some of the Honors with the corners rounded. You don't see that too much on too many harps. The tines are rounded. You see some customizers building combs like that. Does have side vents, does have an open back. My understanding is the cover and the replates do have nickel, is my understanding, so if you have an allergy to that, that could be an issue. Maybe hard to tell on the phone camera, but the reeds are welded reeds, just like a Manji. Phosphorus bronze is my understanding, just like a Manji. And so all the inherent pros and cons of that versus brass or steel or rivets. The aluminum comb, the reed plates, I haven't pried any of that off. I don't view it as a leaky harp. It's actually quite responsive. And for the price point, extremely impressive overall. I have one nitpick as we get into it, but I'm sure that if you're really meticulous and you're wanting to flat sand, the comb's going to be a little bit of an issue. The reed plate shouldn't be too bad to flat sand, but again, there's probably some advanced work that needs to be there. I find this harmonica in terms of playability to be super responsive. I'm pretty sure it's tuned to an equal temperament or awfully close to that, which means your chords aren't going to sound perfect. Just a little bit of beating there, and some of that might even just be moisture in the harp, and I guess I haven't taken a tuner to it or anything. Bends super easy. It's definitely playability at least as good as an 1847, a crossover out of the box, special 20. It's any of those harps in that $40 to $100 price range. The playability is right there. I have not had good luck with any of the Manjis I've played without significant tweaking, whether that be the offsets, how it's gapped to the reed base, the comb being warped. Just have not been a huge fan of those Suzukis. I think this definitely outplays any of those that I've tried out of the box. It's loud. It does have some high end and some cut, which is good or bad. People, when you're playing acoustically, maybe notice that. I don't think the audience really can pick up on much of that, or especially if you have an electric rig and you're cupping a harmonica and such. So sounds pretty good. Playability is super awesome. The bends are super easy. And you can see with good breath support, not a labor to play at all. Nothing to complain about there other than one issue, and that is the 2-draw bend has some of the same problems that Honor harps did a couple years ago, where you get a little extra noise and squeal. I don't know if that's picking up really well, but I'm articulating a 2-draw bend, and I'm getting a squeal behind that, heep, 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 at about that pitch. And it's happening when I'm playing a pretty in tune bend. I don't think I'm hitting the floor and hitting it really flat. So that is a little problematic because it is expected I'd be able to play that without any issues. And so you can hear some of that. I think I can protect most of that. I would probably want to work on some gapping and check out the bass at the reed plate and such too, or the fillet. Sometimes that's called, or the reed and the the head of the reed, the base of the reed meet. So that was really the only disappointment out of the box. The tuning is pretty in tune. The octaves, none of the octaves are really off. So that's probably in line with any of the $40 to $100 harps. I don't think the tuning's any more precise or that it's annoyingly off compared to any other harmonicas out of the box. It's gapped really well. I don't play real soft, haven't had any choking. As a matter of fact, I can get overbends to pop. I can get most of the overdraws to pop. I would never expect a harp outside of the box to do that really well and to not encounter some issues. So on this harp, what those issues look like and sound like is just extra noise and torsional vibration. That's not a fault of the harmonica. I would hope that it would illustrate like the playability is really high and it's really responsive. If I wanted to bend those overblows to pitch, I would get noise, so that's something that I would have to tweak. If I'm using them as passing notes or I'm okay hitting them a little flat, it's probably a non-issue. In terms of the overdraw, here's starting with the 7, which is great. The 8 pops, but again, you're going to have some squeal. 9. Got some noise there in the 10. That's probably the hardest to hit. I had to use quite a bit of force to get those reeds to pop on that one. Again, would not expect a harp to be really good at that outside of the box. That's being super, super nitpicky. This is where, if you're really advanced in some of your reed work, you may find it easier to work on a honer out of the box. These reed plates and reeds are probably a little easier to work on than in 1847, and I know some people have some really good luck working on these reed plates and reeds similar in Suzuki harps. So I wouldn't discourage that. I think some of those inherent issues with some of the squeal and stuff might be harder to work out on a spot welded reed plate at times, but I don't know if I'll ever really open it up and get too worried about it. I would say that technically to hit those notes, I have some pretty solid technique. And when I play out, I just find myself more and more playing pretty close to stock special 20s. And most of the time, it just takes a couple minutes with the covers off to fix any of that squealing. I'm guessing I could get comparable results on this as well. So overall, super, super impressed. If you're a blues player, you're not heavy into overbending, you got reasonable technique, I would definitely put this up there with any of the higher end harps, and then it's definitely economically a really good bargain, which is really cool to see. Obviously, whoever was setting this harp up and got it put together at the end gave it a little extra TLC and attention to maybe some of the gapping and things that generally are kind of hit or miss. I don't know. I usually find that there's 2 or 3 spots on a harp when I open it up that I can tell are just not as consistent as the rest of the harp. And playability wise, I don't have that right now with this harmonica, the little 2-draw bend part. Can be a little annoying. I think if I was just going to play this in a jam quick, I could get away without making that noise. So I'm digging it. It was definitely worth the purchase. If you got any questions, feel free to comment on this and just give me a heads up. I'll try to answer as best I can. I don't really have a compelling need to order a bunch of harmonicas right now, but if I did, I would definitely pick this one up. And I don't remember if I said I usually play special 20s. That's generally what I play. And I would definitely continue to try some of these. And if you're a weekend warrior type and you just need something that you're going to buy and plays well, my sample size of 1 has been fantastic. But then that's what other people have said online too, so maybe worth the gamble if you can wait on shipping. Sounds like Rock and Ron is stocking these now as well. I'm not sure the overall availability, but if he's stocking them, you can order and get them in a couple days. And even if the $50-$60 price point, I mean, that's a super great price for a harmonica that plays this well out of the box, if that's a pretty consistent piece. You know, I'm not an endorser. I don't know anyone over there. I haven't even been online that much looking at harmonicas. I just saw one post on a Facebook page and saw that they were on sale and saw a couple of reviews and thought it was worth a stab in the dark. So money well spent at this point. Thanks for checking it out. We're just past the 10-minute mark, so you're probably done with my Minnesota accent.